Okay, so if you could tell me your name and what you do, that'd be great.
My name is Rob Zarikny. I'm a high school teacher of science
Okay.
in Kingston, Ontario.
All right. Obviously, you have a lot of students that are leaving high school and then going towards university. Could you tell me what some of them have said or why they would consider going to a university, what their key motivations for going to university really are?
Well, I think at this point in time, you really get two decision-making factors that go into it. One is that half the students are looking to leave home and move away from Kingston and then get into obviously the best school possible for the program of their choice. The other half of the students are actually happy and content and looking forward to staying at home and attending a local university like Queen's University and remaining here in Kingston. So a little bit of both.
Okay. Do you feel that the students who do go to study internationally get more value in their education in any way? And if so, what way?
I think anybody who leaves home and goes out on their own, whether it's for their first year of school or university or college, similar to them going out and getting a first job somewhere out of town, definitely helps them in their perspective of the real world and probably increases their awareness and maturity that much faster.
Right. So what would be the pain points that the students may talk about if they were going to go study abroad or at university? What would the forthcoming issues be arriving in a new land?
I think one of the first things they'd be looking at going to a different country is how easy would it be for them to assimilate into the culture that's over there. Language obviously would be one major factor. Another would probably be cuisine and food. Is it going to be a country where they're going to be, happy with the diet that's over there?
Okay. This is one about your students. How many hours per day would you estimate that some of your students spend on social media?
Hours per day?
Or time per day?
While they're at school or in a 24-hour period?
Both.
Unfortunately, today, in the last 3 to 4 years, there's a massive epidemic of social media use in the classrooms and the schools as a whole, as there is in society. A lot of these kids are frankly incapable of not having their phone on them and looking at it and using it throughout each class, throughout the school day, and is a massive distraction to their focus of learning what the actual class subject materials is.
So could you estimate an hourly amount, even just in the classroom, how much they'd use it, or at school?
Some students, 25% of the students that are in the class would never look at their cell phone for a given hour in class. Not surprisingly, those are also the students that would be typically close to the top 25% of marks in the class. For the rest of the class, if you took a look at the bottom, 25% of cell phone users, it would not be uncommon for them to take their cell phones out in a 60-minute period and look at it, probably on the order of and upwards to 50 times per hour.
Okay.
They're
pretty much the whole hour.
They're looking at it every 30 seconds. Some of them have. So it's a range from never to almost every 30 seconds.
Okay. I know you've obviously worked for several years. Do you think individuals who go to study abroad gain a competitive advantage when they're actually looking for a job down the road?
Definitely.
And what way?
So. Well, I think it increases their perspective on an appreciation for what other cultures have, and when you have that, you're able to carry it out better in terms of interpersonal relationships and a work environment. For some people that go over to an international school for a period of time, if it's an area that it's turning into a language that would be their second language, then similar to being bilingual in Canada, it would massively increase their potential to get a job if they were able to be proficient in 2 languages or more.
Okay. And lastly, what information do you think a university should convey to these students to help them either apply or try to get an offer of enrollment at the university?
I would say research and talk to as many people that are in guidance departments. Contact the universities directly themselves and talk to admissions and get a feel for what they have to offer, what they've got in terms of courses and credits in high school, and how would that relate to them being able to get accepted into a particular program that they would want to at that school.
Right. And is there anything the university could kind of like build as a marketing tool, in your opinion, that would help convey important information? And what would the information the students would want to know be?
I think something that would be really, really helpful that schools international should do is produce and create infographic commercials of their university. And since the students are so into social media and their phones and the internet, rather than having the cost and expense of somebody coming across Canada and traveling from school to school, this way they could actually just send out a 10-minute information seminar that's professionally done and entertaining that would draw the students in.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.